Hello, hello. Happy December. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. I'm on the mend. I've had COVID for the last couple of weeks, so I'm
Ugh.
getting better.
I'm glad you're getting better because we need you. It just means that you've got so much good stuff coming that you needed your body and everything to chill out and rest and get ready for it.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so let's talk about this month of December. It begins on the
Okay.
7th, and it's a young wood rat,
hmm
which is an interesting energy, don't you think? December and
I
rat.
yeah, I think it is interesting because, it's kind of counterintuitive. December is one of those months where here in the western states we have snow falling on the ground and, it's like time to wind down, and it's the last month of the year. But the rat is the first zodiac animal in the Chinese zodiac. So there's this kind of push-pull sensation that's going on at the end of the year because the rat's energy is about new beginnings. It's about
Mhm.
strategies and beginning projects and things like that. But then when you think of December, it's like, oh, it's time to hunker down for the winter.
Mhm.
But I don't know about you, but my experience, even when I was a hairstylist, December was my busiest month of the
Mm,
year.
mm,
I was working 10 hours every single day just to fit everyone in before Christmas Eve. So,
mhm. That
yeah,
makes sense.
it's kind of an interesting energy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my busiest. It's, January or December, January are huge months for me, very busy.
hmm
So I can relate to that. But if you think about it, when things come to an end, the next step is new beginnings.
Yeah,
But it's all kind of mushed together. So it's about
yeah.
how do we navigate that, maybe setting a new tone, or setting new boundaries around the holidays or moving forward. This is when, because we're going to be in this rat energy until the 5th of January. So this
hmm
rat energy embraces also the new year,
Yeah,
right? The Western
it
world's new
does.
year. So whether it's picking your word or your affirmation or your resolution for the year too, for next year, allow that to kind of start paying attention to it now and start letting that unfold as we're closing down,
hmm
getting ready to think about taxes and oh, I got to get all my stuff together to send off. It's a lot of different energy.
Yeah.
It's so weird because it's like, let's go spend a bunch of money, then let's freak out about taxes.
I know, it's so weird.
It is. And it's Yang Wood. You've talked about the rat being new beginnings. He's an idea starter, creative energy, but sometimes doesn't know what to do with that energy,
Mm.
right? It's like, here's the energy and I'm spinning in it. It feels good. And but then like, who do I hand it off to? Who do I pass the ball to really kind of kick this in gear? And it's a Yang Wood energy. And Yang Wood to me feels like too much for the rat to handle.
Yeah, even though the rat is a water animal and water supports wood, yang wood is the forest energy. It's like, if you don't take a compass or a flashlight with you, even midday, if you're in the forest and you get into that deep canopy, it can appear as though it's nighttime.
Hmm.
So you need some navigation with you when you're navigating yang wood.
I love that you said that. You brought up a childhood memory. I used to, my parents were divorced. And so during the winter seasons, if I wanted to spend time with my dad on his weekend, I had to tag along. And it was usually to hunting camp.
Uh-huh.
So here I am, and him and I, maybe my little brother, were traipsing through the forest, and we'd get deep into the forest, we'd crunch in the snow, and we'd sit because we didn't have tree stands or anything. We stalked, or he
Yeah.
stalked his prey. We'd get into a certain point, and he'd go, "Okay, where's the vehicle? Where's the truck? Lead us
Oh,
back out."
wow.
So he taught us how to be like, as soon as I get out of the truck, start paying attention to my surroundings and start
Mhm.
notice the little things along the trail.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I was just like, okay, ask me, ask me, ask me, because I want to be the one to guide us out of here. because I
Uh-huh.
felt so like accomplished and felt like, he had taught me something. It's so interesting that you brought that up. And that speaks to December though, right?
Yeah.
Reflecting.
The combination of the
Yeah.
rat and young wood.
Mm-hmm.
We have to create a strategy so that we can
Yeah,
find our way out of the woods.
exactly. Yeah. And the wood, to me, the visual I have is because of the season, all the trees have no leaves on them.
Hmm.
There's just these branches that are still reaching, they're still there. And those branches to me visually are like neurons in the brain.
Mm,
And so it feels like a very cerebral month,
yeah,
very
it really
busy
is.
thinking, spinning, like you said. And I think what brings the rat comfort is when it does have a plan. When there is that
Mm,
strategy, things are in place, you know who's going to be there, what time it starts, what time it ends. I think those kinds of things, if you feel your nervous energy amping up, have a plan.
yeah,
It brings comfort and safety.
yeah. Well, and another thing that we can add about the wood energy is extremely creative. So if you're having trouble figuring out your strategy, put whatever energy you can into some of your creative projects. That's going to
Mm,
be a really good use of and constructive use of your time in December.
I like that. I think that's a great idea. I think that if we're looking at the astrology charts, for those of you who know, if you have a horse in your chart, like me in my life path pillar, this can be a little bit of a change of pace for you.
Yeah,
And it might pull your direction, it might pull your compass, you might be guided to go a different way typically than you're used to. I also
yeah,
think the rabbit's going to have a little bit rough month. Now you have rabbit in your chart. I
I
know you're
do. And
busy.
rat.
Oh, and rat. So you're born
Yeah.
with that
I was born with that.
that
So it's,
combination.
it can, especially during December, that's kind of a volatile combination because, when you have the combination of rat and rabbit, it's, unkindness. Things fall out of my mouth that maybe should not. So I try to keep my mouth shut during the rat month. And it's kind of interesting. I've really never enjoyed the holiday season. I've never enjoyed December.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be because it ignites that volatile combination for
Yeah.
me in my chart.
Very good point. Very good point. I think the sheep and the rabbit might have if you have a sheep in your chart, be careful with your health.
Mhm.
What you're eating, what you're consuming. This is a time to just be, hitting buffet lines and snacking because people are bringing Christmas treats to the office and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Be mindful of that stuff. Sheep usually has issues with their stomach, their digestive system. So, if you do indulge a little bit, how are you going to counter that? Maybe it's drinking a
Yeah.
lot of water, it's taking some good probiotics, prebiotics, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I also think those are really the only ones that, maybe the rooster, the rooster, if you have a rooster in your chart, I would do what you just did, Jeremy, and think about how do I really feel about December, the holidays,
Yeah.
and should I make an adjustment around that?
Mm,
Because this energy with the rat and the rooster is like, where can we create like a pause or some separation
yeah.
from everything that's going on?
Yeah.
So that's what I love about this is just being able to look back and go, okay, every December we know it's the rat. It's not always a young wood rat, but
Mhm.
it's always a rat. So look at that as an indicator of how do things go. Can you have Christmas dinner on a different day in a different month? This doesn't
Yeah.
have. That's some of my. That's I guess that maybe is the horse and the dragon of me. Is like, no, let's break the rules because I
Yeah.
think when we get too boxed into the rules,
Uh-huh.
then there's so many expectations and stress put on everybody.
Yeah.
It's not comforting. It's not joyful. It's not loving.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you're talking
I
to two, I mean, two people are sitting here talking to you. It's like I could do without Christmas.
oh, 100%. It's not my favorite time of year at all.
Mm-mm.
I've never enjoyed it. But yeah, I think that it's kind of cool though if you can look at your four pillar chart, get to know the four animals in your chart,
Mm-hmm.
and really get to know how they interact with each of these months, because then you can turn it into a strategy, which is what the rat wants us to do. Which is kind of interesting because in the Western world, we have Mercury retrograde coming up on the 13th.
That's right.
And Mercury is going to be retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. For all of you business owners out there, Capricorn is the sign of business and industry. So,
Mm.
what do we do during a Mercury retrograde? Mercury is the planet of communication and it's the planet of the mind. So when we're experiencing a retrograde cycle, it's 3 weeks out of that part of the month where we get to do anything with the prefix re. Rethink, revisit, re-strategize, redecorate, rest, relax.
Mm.
Any of those things, but especially in Capricorn, which is business, this is an excellent month to strategize for the year ahead.
Okay.
We're going into dragon energy, which is pretty intense. It's one of the
Mm-hmm.
most intense animals in the Chinese zodiac. So, using the month of December, especially with this Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, to strategize what you're going to do in your business, getting all of your ducks in a row for 2024.
Mm-hmm. I like
We've
that.
got we've got two great moon cycles happening this month. The new moon in Sagittarius at 20 degrees Sagittarius on December the 12th, which is the day before Mercury retrograde. Great day for new beginnings. However, we are entering a retrograde cycle. So, Sagittarius is the sign of higher mind, higher education. So, how can we reconnect with our higher selves during the month
Mm.
of December? How can we use the wisdom of that rat to strategize, connecting,
Mm-hmm.
reconnecting with our higher selves?
Mm-hmm.
So that when we get to the full moon in Cancer on the 26th of December, which is the day after Christmas, the full moon in Cancer, Cancer is the archetype of the mother. It's the nurturer. It's the one that wants to stay home and cuddle up and watch a movie. Plan on being home during Christmas Eve, Christmas, and Christmas the day after Christmas, so that you can really get reap all of the benefits of this full moon in Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Spending time with family. The other thing about Cancer is it's the nurturer. How can we nurture ourselves and how can we nurture our loved ones during this holiday season, especially with Mercury retrograde being there? Mercury is the planet of communication, so sometimes you might be zigging and they might be zagging. So
Mm-hmm.
just know that there might be some things that, might there some of the lines might get crossed this holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind if you're going to be around friends and family.
Oh, I love those insights and tips. So when does Mercury retrograde end? Is it like January
It goes
2nd?
until January 2nd.
2nd. Okay.
So from the
Okay.
13th to the 2nd.
So it's not a time to fear. It's not a time to freak
No,
out. It's just a time to
no.
do those rest, reset kind of energies.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're thinking about reconnecting with your correspondence and sending letters out, Mercury retrograde is the best time to write. It's the
Mm.
best time to use any kind of indirect communication through singing, writing,
Mm.
sending an email, any kind of thing that you can do indirectly. That is the best way to communicate.
Oh, I love that. That's really cool. So I should get a caroling group together.
One of my girlfriends is doing that. We're gonna go caroling with her and her family,
Oh my
and
gosh,
that's a
come to my
great
house.
thing to do. Great thing to do for Mercury retrograde.
That is. Wow, this is great. I think it's going to be a great month. I actually do.
I do too. I do too, and I think I'm glad that you said Mercury retrograde is not something to fear.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so might as we're like December is gonna be great. This is the five of water, and the five of water or the five of cups is the sensation of things not really turning out the way we hoped they would. It's energy of kind of crying over spilled milk. So it's going to be important during December to use all of the components that we've been talking about just now and just kind of throwing caution to the wind,
Mm,
letting things play out the way that they play out. They may not go according to plan, and that's okay.
mhm.
It's okay to recalibrate,
Yeah,
especially during Mercury retrograde. It's okay to pivot your plans, and maybe it doesn't have to be a full 180 and turn and go the opposite
mhm.
direction. You might just have to pivot a few degrees in order to really see it through.
Yeah. And I think with the water energy and that card you just pulled, the water
Hmm.
energy of the rat,
Yeah.
in this lofty wood energy, get grounded. Stay
Oh,
grounded.
yeah.
Maybe don't use food and alcohol so much to stay grounded. So there's a lot of opportunities this month,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
do a grounding practice, even if it's like, that I don't know if I can, but you cross your arms and then you turn your palms in and you clasp your fingers and then turn. This brings both sides of your brain's hemispheres together.
Oh,
It's
cool.
called Educate or Brain Gym. And there's, things that you can do that ground and center you, even if it's just, holding namaste pressed up against your heart. So do some grounding, breathe, get centered. Because when we're off center, those little things that you're talking about, we're going to fling off with them and then shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Stay grounded. Let it go. It's no big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It
Are you ready
is.
to go take a nap?
I am.
Okay. Me too, actually. Well, maybe we should just sleep through December.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Please, oh, you have a January,
Oh,
that's your last class, or December's your last class
yeah,
for
it's
the year?
actually this is it's coming up on Thursday the 7th, and it's going to be an introduction into Chinese astrology. For the last 12 months I've been doing a monthly astrology class, going all over all of the planets in the Western zodiac. This year I'm shifting into Chinese astrology, and this is going to be uh, the class is called 2024, the Year of the Dragon. So I'm going to give you an introduction into what the dragon means, what it means to have a dragon in your four-pillar chart, and also some of the things that we can be expecting from the energy of the dragon for 2024. And then I'm going to continue the class once a month doing one of the Chinese zodiac signs.
Oh my gosh. Yay, I'm so excited for you. So there's going to be a link below to get to
Yeah,
this the 7th class. You can sign up the last minute and still get in.
yeah, yeah,
So
you
that's
can.
really cool. And you're doing update readings, Western Chinese astrology update readings. I'm doing
Yep.
update readings. So this is the time to
Book as
do it.
quick as you can for both
Mhm.
of us because right
Yeah.
now we're both getting backlogged with a lot of
Yeah.
people that want an update for 2024 since we are going into a lot of uncertain times and intense energy. Using your astrology charts is it's the one of the best ways that you can strategize for the year and
Mhm.
see how the year's going to show up for you, how you can use that energy in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. The first 8 people who signed up already for they all have dragons in their charts.
Of course they do.
So it's great that, there's all that excitement, but you don't have to have a dragon in your chart to benefit
No.
from this dragon energy. So
Hmm.
see how this dragon's going to hit you, or wake you up, or whatever it needs to do. Like you were saying, it's intense, and I'm almost speechless about it, about next year.
Too.
Sometimes I
And
have no words.
I'm never speechless about it.
Well, I appreciate you. Happy holidays, everyone. Wherever
Happy
you're going,
holidays.
be safe and
Yep.
just feel the love and the compassion. That's where we're going.
Yep.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.